When the doors of the plane opened in Vietnam, the smell hit us before the fear did. Diesel, rotting trash, jet fuel, human waste. And somewhere on that runway, under the dim lights of 1 a.m., body bags were being loaded onto another aircraft headed home. That was the real welcome. But 3 weeks earlier, none of us could imagine that moment. Back when the war was still escalating, entire military units used to sail together across the Pacific. Massive troop ships, 500 feet long, carrying 4,000 or 5,000 men at a time. Battalions boarded side by side. They trained together, ate together, laughed together. By the time they reached Southeast Asia, they were a team. Families lined the shores when those ships departed. Wives throwing confetti, parents waving handmade signs, girlfriends shouting "good luck" through tears. It looked heroic. It felt united. But by 1971, that was gone. Too many casualties, too much urgency, too much chaos. Instead of ships, we flew alone. On April 4th, 1971, my journey began at McChord Air Force Base in Washington State. The week before, I'd been home on leave, trying to squeeze an entire year of freedom into 7 days. Laughing with friends, pretending nothing was about to change. The morning I left, my parents walked me through the airport terminal. My mother tried to be strong, but her hands were full of soaked tissues. My father, an ex-Marine, stood tall, proud, and quietly terrified. When boarding was called, I hugged them both at the same time, for the first time in my life. They went up to the observation deck to watch my plane leave. As we pushed back from the gate, I saw them through the window, my father's arm around my mother, her arms waving frantically. I didn't know it then, but that image would replay in my mind more than once. The flight to Seattle was 6 hours. The next day, we boarded a Boeing 707 chartered by World Airways. No jokes, no loud conversations, just forced smiles and strange nods between strangers, pretending not to be afraid. We all knew something simple and brutal. Some of us wouldn't come back. 18 hours in the air. A refueling stop in Honolulu. We were allowed to step outside for about an hour. Hawaii was everything I'd imagined. Tropical flowers, wooden bridges over koi ponds, warm air brushing across the skin. A brief rain fell from a dark cloud, but somehow the drops seemed to evaporate before touching the ground. Then, suddenly, a rainbow stretched across the sky. I remember thinking, what a beautiful sign. But then another thought crept in. What if the dark cloud was the sign? We landed in Vietnam around 1 in the morning. The cabin was silent as we taxied across the runway at Ton Son Nhat Air Base, just outside Saigon. Then the locks turned. The doors opened, and the air rushed in. Thick, wet, suffocating. The smell was overwhelming. Diesel fumes, rotting garbage, jet exhaust, sewage. It wrapped around us like something alive. That first breath erased every romantic idea about war. Outside, the airfield was busy despite the hour. Pallets of ammunition, fresh jeeps, 105mm artillery pieces, towers of sea rations stacked 6 feet high. War wasn't coming. War was already here. As we walked away from the jet, I glanced to my left and saw a flatbed truck backing up to a military C-130. The truck was stacked with green body bags. Men climbed into the truck bed and began lifting them one by one into the cargo hold. Soldiers going home, just not the way they had planned. In that moment, the rainbow in Hawaii felt very far away. No speeches, no confetti, no cheering families on a shoreline. Just heat, smell, and the quiet understanding that everything had changed. Welcome to Vietnam.